You wake up every day with a gift. A full 24 hours, 140 minutes, 400 seconds. And what do most people do? Hit snooze, scroll aimlessly, complain about traffic, wait for something big to happen. But life, it's happening right now. In the silence, in the noise, in the tiny, invisible moments you're not even paying attention to. Every single day is teaching you something. The question is, are you learning or just existing? You think life-changing moments come with confetti, loud applause, or some grand breakthrough. That's the lie we're sold. The truth. Transformation lives in the tiny, silent corners of your day, the ones you dismiss as nothing special. It's in the way you speak to yourself when no one's around. It's in the split-second decision to put your phone down and focus. It's in the quiet choice to say no to gossip, no to laziness, no to self-pity. These moments don't shout, they whisper. But that whisper, if you learn to hear it, is louder than 1,000 cheers. The reality is the small things are the big things. The world won't reward you for how loudly you dream, but for how consistently you show up when no one's watching. You can talk all you want about goals and greatness, but your legacy is built in the spaces between waking up and starting the day, between reacting and responding, between failing and choosing to try again. Every single ordinary moment is loaded with potential. But most people are too distracted, too entitled, or too tired to recognize it. Look closely at how you move through your day. Do you treat it like it matters? Or are you surviving it on autopilot? Because here's what most never realize. The habits you ignore today become the regrets you carry tomorrow. That 5-minute scroll turns into an hour wasted. That skipped workout becomes a body you don't recognize. That missed opportunity to speak up becomes the silence that haunts you. It's easy to overlook a bad decision when it's wrapped in a normal day. But string 100 of those decisions together. That's your life. And the most powerful people in the world, the ones who seem magnetic, unstoppable, fully in control, they didn't get there by accident. They got there by mastering the minute, by honoring the unglamorous, by choosing the harder right over the easier wrong, again and again, when no one was clapping. You've been conditioned to wait for some monumental shift, a promotion, a relationship, a breakthrough. But that mindset is a trap. It keeps you waiting. It convinces you that life is somewhere out there, somewhere after. But life isn't waiting for you to catch up. It's moving fast. And while you're busy hoping for the next big thing, the real work, the real magic, is happening in the quiet now. In the 6 a.m. alarm you ignore. In the decision to journal your thoughts, instead of numbing them with noise. In the moment you choose to take one deep breath, instead of exploding in anger. That's where the transformation hides. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows you refuse to enter. If you want to change your life, don't look at the mountaintop. Look at your Monday. Look at the way you carry yourself through the boring, repetitive, meaningless parts of the day. Because those parts are the truth, your truth. If your words and your actions don't match, people won't trust you. And worse, you won't trust yourself. Integrity doesn't start on stage. It starts when you say you'll go for a run, and you actually do. It starts when you promise yourself you'll be more focused, and you follow through without needing external validation. That's where confidence is born. Not from affirmation, but from evidence. The evidence of your own daily behavior, building brick by brick the character you claim to want. This is the part no one talks about, because it's not glamorous. It's not sexy to say, Just show up and do the small things well. But that's the difference between people who talk and people who rise. Champions are forged in discipline, not in drama. They see the day for what it is, an opportunity disguised as routine. And when they fall, they don't sulk, they don't spiral. They realign. Because they know that one bad day doesn't define them. But one powerful choice can redirect everything. And that power lives in the mundane. It lives in your discipline, your rituals, your repetition. So don't underestimate the small things. They are your training ground. They're the proving grounds of your future. Every time you choose the hard path over the easy one, every time you silence distraction and choose focus, every time you make a promise to yourself and actually keep it, that's growth. That's power. That's the quiet kind of greatness that lasts. Your life isn't shaped in the moments people applaud. It's shaped in the silence you show up in every single day. The question is, are you showing up with purpose? Or are you just passing time hoping something will change? Because nothing changes until you do. Pain isn't just something you survive. It's something you study. And most people don't want to hear that. They think pain is a curse, an interruption, a punishment. But what if pain is the lesson you've been avoiding? What if it's the most honest mirror life will ever hold up to you? Because pain doesn't lie, it exposes you. It strips away your excuses, your filters, your masks. When you're in pain, your truth comes out, raw, unedited, and real. That's where growth starts. Not when you're comfortable. Not when everything is going your way. Growth begins when something cracks and the light starts pouring through. But only if you're willing to stay in the fire long enough to understand what it's trying to teach you. You see, people are quick to move past discomfort, a breakup, distract yourself, a failure, blame someone else, a loss, bury the grief. But if you rush through pain, you rob yourself of the clarity it brings. Because pain shows up for a reason. It's not random. It's not cruel. It's precise. It shows up exactly where you've been lying to yourself. It pinpoints the weak spot, the insecurity, the dependency, the illusion, and it forces you to confront it. That's why pain is powerful. Not because it feels good, but because it reveals what you couldn't see on your own. It makes you honest. And in a world full of noise, that kind of honesty is rare. That kind of honesty is the foundation of real strength. When pain comes, most people reach for comfort, for distractions, for temporary relief. But what they really need is reflection. Sit with it. Ask it questions. Let it answer you. That betrayal, what did it teach you about boundaries? That rejection, what did it uncover about your self-worth? That loss, what did it reveal about what truly matters to you? Pain teaches with a sharp edge, but its wisdom is clean. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't flatter you. It teaches you who you are, what you're made of, and what you're still holding on to that's been weighing you down. If you skip the lesson, you repeat the cycle. And life will keep handing you the same pain, dressed in different clothes, until you finally learn. The truth is, most people are afraid of pain not because it hurts, but because it changes them. And change is terrifying. It means letting go of who you thought you were. It means shedding the comfort of old beliefs, toxic patterns, familiar faces. Pain forces transformation. And transformation is lonely. You lose people. You lose routines. You lose parts of yourself that no longer fit. But that's the point. You're not meant to stay the same. You're not meant to fit inside an old version of yourself. The pain came to break the mold, to burn away what no longer serves you, to shape you into something stronger, wiser, more powerful. But only if you're brave enough to let it. You have to stop looking at pain like it's your enemy. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to develop you. It's the gym for your soul. And every time you walk through it instead of around it, you come out tougher, smarter, more aware. Pain builds resilience, not just in your body, but in your spirit. It teaches you patience, compassion, boundaries, focus. It teaches you how to live with intention instead of reaction. If you allow it to shape you, it gives you depth. And that depth is what will separate you. Because most people live shallow. They avoid, they escape, they pretend. But those who go deep, those who let the pain teach them, they move different, they lead different, they live different. You're not weak because you're hurting. You're human. The pain you're feeling isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you're becoming. It means your heart still cares. Your soul still wants more. It means you're not numb. And if you're not numb, you're still alive. Fully, fiercely, painfully alive. Use that. Use every sting, every scar, every sleepless night. Use it as fuel, as evidence, as proof that you're still in the fight. Let it harden your resolve, not your heart. Let it remind you of what you're capable of enduring, and more importantly, what you're capable of becoming through it. Because on the other side of that pain, if you choose to walk through it with your eyes open, is power. And that power was always yours. The pain just came to remind you. People always reveal who they are. You just have to pay attention. The problem isn't that you've never been given signs. It's that you've ignored them. You excused them, softened them, rewrote them in your mind, because it was more comfortable to believe in someone's potential than to accept their pattern. But potential doesn't build relationships. Patterns do. How someone acts when they're angry. How they treat you when they don't need anything. How they show up when no one's watching. That's their truth. And that truth speaks volumes, if you're brave enough to see it. We waste so much time hoping people will change, will grow, will suddenly become everything we imagined. But here's the hard reality. People don't change because you see the best in them. They change when they see what needs to change. And most won't. It's not your job to fix people. It's your job to observe. Observation is the gateway to clarity. And clarity is power. You don't need to interrogate anyone's character. You just need to watch what they do consistently. Not what they say. Not what they post. What they adore. Because character isn't built in conversation. It's built in repetition. Someone who constantly breaks promises, disrespects boundaries, or disappears when life gets hard is showing you exactly who they are. And yet, so many people stay in toxic cycles out of hope, out of fear, or out of nostalgia. But your peace should never be held hostage by someone else's lack of growth. Loyalty is beautiful, but blind loyalty is dangerous. It keeps you stuck in places you've outgrown, tied to people who've already let go of you emotionally. It's also not just about who they are. It's about who you become around them. Pay attention to how your energy shifts when someone enters the room. Do you shrink? Do you feel drained, tense, unworthy? That's not random. That's your intuition speaking. Every relationship is either building you or breaking you, elevating your mindset or feeding your doubts. And most people don't even realize how much of their anxiety comes from being in the wrong environments with the wrong people. You are absorbing more than you realize. The way people speak, how they treat others, their attitude toward life, it all seeps into you. If someone constantly brings chaos, gossip, negativity, or manipulation into your space. It's not just about them being difficult. It's about your boundary being too loose. You need to learn to observe in silence. No warnings. No confrontations. Just take mental notes. Let people show you who they are without your interference. The more you observe, the less you'll tolerate behavior that doesn't align with your values. Because when you truly know your worth, you stop negotiating your peace. You stop explaining why something bothered you for the 5th time. You stop begging for basic respect. You simply exit what no longer reflects your growth. That's maturity. That's emotional intelligence. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to your life just because you've known them for years. Time doesn't equal alignment, and proximity doesn't equal connection. What matters is how people show up for you when it counts, and how consistently they do it. Don't get this twisted. This isn't about cutting everyone off or walking around with walls up. It's about discernment. It's about making room for relationships that nourish your soul instead of draining it. You deserve to be around people who challenge you without belittling you, who correct you without controlling you, who inspire you simply by how they live. But you'll never attract those kinds of people if your energy is tied up in trying to fix the ones who've already shown they aren't willing to meet you halfway. Every time you ignore a red flag, you're sending a message to yourself that your peace is negotiable. And the more you tolerate misalignment, the more you teach yourself to settle. So start watching more and talking less. Watch who celebrates your wins without jealousy, who listens without turning the conversation back to themselves, who keeps their word when it's inconvenient, who respects your boundaries without guilt-tripping you. These aren't luxuries, they're standards. And the more you raise your standards, the more you'll see who's truly aligned with your growth. Because people are always communicating their character, not with their words, but with their habits, their reactions, their energy. If you want to protect your future, you have to get honest about your present. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table, and the only way you'll know who does is by finally paying attention. Look at your day, not your dreams, not the version of yourself you post online, but your actual day. The moment you open your eyes, what do? Do you reach for your phone and scroll until you're late? Or do you rise with purpose? Because your routine is not just a series of tasks. It's a silent declaration of who you are becoming. Every repeated action, every mindless choice, every small behavior is casting a vote for your future. Your routine is your identity in disguise. If you want to know who you really are, don't look at your vision board. Look at how you move through a Tuesday afternoon. Look at what you choose when no one is watching. That is the real you. And until you change what you do, you won't change who you are. So many people live in a constant loop of wishing. Wishing they had more time. Wishing they were healthier, wealthier, happier. But wishing doesn't change anything. Discipline does. Consistency does. You can write down goals every single morning, but if your habits are lazy, chaotic, reactive, then you are writing a lie. Identity isn't a mindset, it's a practice. Who you are is revealed by what you repeat. The way you carry yourself through your routine either reinforces your strength or feeds your weakness. You don't need a better plan. You need better execution. The real problem isn't lack of time or talent. It's the silent tolerance of sloppy habits. You've normalized distractions. You've made comfort your God. And now you're wondering why you feel stuck. You can't rise while dragging the weight of broken routines. Every time you hit snooze, every time you cancel on yourself, every time you say, just this once, you are choosing short-term comfort over long-term power. And let's be clear, comfort is seductive. It whispers in your ear and makes you believe you're safe. But the truth is, comfort is costing you everything you say you want. It's in the routine where battles are won or lost. It's in the grind, the discipline, the repetition. You don't get to feel motivated every day. That's not how greatness works. What matters is what you do when the motivation disappears. Do you show up anyway? Do you honor your word to yourself, even when you don't feel like it? That's where your real identity is built. Not when it's easy, but when it's hard. And what you do daily is creating your life silently, whether you acknowledge it or not. The habits you think don't matter, the extra hour of sleep, the skipped workout, the fast food you tell yourself is just this once. They are forming your future one unnoticed decision at a time. It's not the grand gestures that shape your life. It's the quiet routines. The ones that feel boring, repetitive, unglamorous. The gym session when you're tired. The book you choose over social media. The meditation instead of the mindless scrolling. These moments are invisible builders. They're stacking bricks, slowly, quietly, until one day you wake up and realize you've either built a life of purpose or a prison of your own making. And the most dangerous thing about a poor routine is that it doesn't destroy you overnight. It erodes you slowly, day by day, inch by inch, until suddenly you look in the mirror and don't recognize who you've become. You feel disconnected from your purpose, your goals, your inner fire. Not because something tragic happened, but because you abandoned yourself one small choice at a time. It wasn't the big things. It was the 1,000 tiny moments where you said, not today, maybe tomorrow, just one more time. You didn't fall. You drifted. And now, if you want to get back, it starts with reclaiming the day, taking your time seriously, restructuring your life to match your standards, not your feelings. It's time to stop living in conflict with the person you say you want to be. If your routine doesn't match your vision, then your vision is fiction. That dream life you keep visualizing won't magically appear. It's hidden inside your boring, uncomfortable, repetitive daily process. The future is found in the present. Your power is hidden in your pattern, and your identity isn't waiting for you at the finish line. It's being built with every choice you make today. So the question is simple. Do your daily actions reflect someone who is serious about becoming unstoppable? Or are you just pretending? Because the routine doesn't lie. It reveals. Every single day. Gratitude isn't soft. It's not a sweet little habit you pick up in the morning to make yourself feel good. It's a weapon. A weapon against entitlement, against bitterness, against the poison of comparison that's infecting your mind every time you scroll, every time you complain, every time you focus on what's missing instead of what's already in front of you. Gratitude is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that despite the chaos, despite the pain, despite the setbacks, you still have something to work with, something to build on, something to protect. That mindset is not weak. It's dangerous. Because when you train yourself to see power in what you already have, you stop waiting for life to get better. You start getting hours stronger. Most people go through their day blind, not physically, but mentally, emotionally. They move so fast, chasing what they don't have, that they fail to recognize what they do. They miss the lessons in the struggle, the blessing in the breakdown, the strength in the silence. They think gratitude is something you feel when things go right. But real gratitude, it shows up when nothing is going your way. When you've been knocked down, when the plan failed, when the people you trusted walked away. And still, you find the strength to say, I'm not done. That's not a mood. That's a decision, a skill, a force. And it will shift everything. Gratitude changes the way you move. It transforms your posture from helpless to powerful, from complaining to creating, from surviving to leading. Because when you choose gratitude, you shift your focus from control to clarity. You stop obsessing over what went wrong and start building with what's still in your hands. Life doesn't owe you peace, health, love, or success, but it gives you access. And gratitude is how you unlock it. It doesn't deny your pain. It reframes it. It says, yes, this hurts. Yes, I'm tired. But look at what I still have. And that perspective, that ability to stay grounded in the storm, that's what makes you unshakable. There's power in recognizing what didn't break you. That relationship that ended, you're still standing. That door that closed, you found another way. That mistake that haunted you, you learned from it. But if you don't pause to acknowledge your survival, you'll keep acting like you're broken. You'll keep looking at your life as if you're behind, when really, you're battle-tested. You've been through storms others wouldn't have survived. But gratitude forces you to see it. It makes you face the truth. You are not empty. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from wisdom, from resilience, from truth. And there's no greater foundation than that. Gratitude doesn't make you passive. It makes you precise. When you're grateful, you don't settle, you focus. You cut the noise. You stop wasting time on what drains you and start protecting what builds you. Because you see it clearly now. You see how precious your energy is, how rare peace is, how valuable real people are. Gratitude helps you filter out the distractions and elevate the essentials. You become sharper, more intentional, more dangerous. Because now you're not just reacting to life, you're honoring it. You're building something with it. And that kind of presence, that kind of clarity, it makes you magnetic, powerful, grounded in a way most people never are. Gratitude, when practiced deeply, rewires your brain. It forces you to stop living in lack. And here's the truth. Most people don't feel lost because their life is empty. They feel lost because they've been trained to overlook what matters, to undervalue simplicity, to ignore progress unless it's perfect. But gratitude cuts through that illusion. It brings you back to the core. The fact that you can think, breathe, love, build, forgive, and rise again. That's not small. That's everything. And when you wake up every morning and train your mind to see it, to feel it, you become a different kind of force. You don't need perfect circumstances to succeed. You just need clear vision. And gratitude is that vision. Not tomorrow, not when things improve, but now. Gratitude isn't soft. It's not a sweet little habit you pick up in the morning to make yourself feel good. It's a weapon against entitlement, against bitterness, against the poison of comparison that's infecting your mind every time you scroll, every time you complain, every time you focus on what's missing instead of what's already in front of you. Gratitude is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that despite the chaos, despite the pain, despite the setbacks, you still have something to work with, something to build on, something to protect. That mindset is not weak. It's dangerous. Because when you train yourself to see power in what you already have, You stop waiting for life to get better. You start getting stronger. Where most people go through their day blind, not physically, but mentally, emotionally. They move so fast, chasing what they don't have, that they fail to recognize what they do. They miss the lessons in the struggle, the blessing in the breakdown, the strength in the silence. They think gratitude is something you feel when things go right. But real gratitude, it shows up when nothing is going your way. When you've been knocked down, when the plan failed, when the people you trusted walked away, and still you find the strength to say, I'm not done. That's not a mood. That's a decision, a skill, a force. And it will shift everything. Gratitude changes the way you move. It transforms your posture from helpless to powerful, from complaining to creating, from surviving to leading. Because when you choose gratitude, you shift your focus from control to clarity. You stop obsessing over what went wrong and start building with what's still in your hands. Life doesn't owe you peace, health, love, or success, but it gives you access. And gratitude is how you unlock it. It doesn't deny your pain. It reframes it. It says, yes, this hurts. Yes, I'm tired, but look at what I still have. And that perspective, that ability to stay grounded in the storm, that's what makes you unshakable. There's power in recognizing what didn't break you. That relationship that ended, you're still standing. That door that closed, you found another way. That mistake that haunted you, you learned from it. But if you don't pause to acknowledge your survival, you'll keep acting like you're broken. You'll keep looking at your life as if you're behind, when really, you're battle tested. You've been through storms others wouldn't have survived. But gratitude forces you to see it. It makes you face the truth. You are not empty. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from wisdom, from resilience, from truth. And there's no greater foundation than that. Gratitude doesn't make you passive. It makes you precise. When you're grateful, you don't settle. You focus. You cut the noise. You stop wasting time on what drains you and start protecting what builds you. Because you see it clearly now. You see how precious your energy is, how rare peace is, how valuable real people are. Gratitude helps you filter out the distractions and elevate the essentials. You become sharper, more intentional, more dangerous. Because now you're not just reacting to life, you're honoring it. You're building something with it. And that kind of presence, that kind of clarity, it makes you magnetic, powerful, grounded in a way most people never are. Gratitude, when practiced deeply, rewires your brain. It forces you to stop living in lack. And here's the truth. Most people don't feel lost because their life is empty. They feel lost because they've been trained to overlook what matters, to undervalue simplicity, to ignore progress unless it's perfect. But gratitude cuts through that illusion. It brings you back to the core. The fact that you can think, breathe, love, build, forgive, and rise again. That's not small. That's everything. And when you wake up every morning and train your mind to see it, to feel it, you become a different kind of force. You don't need perfect circumstances to succeed. You just need clear vision. And gratitude is that vision. Not tomorrow, not when things improve, but no. So stop waiting for a better time. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for someone to choose you, validate you, or push you. This is your moment, right now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel more ready. Not when life gets easier. Because life doesn't slow down for you to catch up. It demands that you rise up. And when you choose to show up fully, When you commit to the process without shortcuts, without excuses, without apology, that's when everything begins to change. Not because life suddenly gets easier, but because you get stronger. Every second is a seed. Every decision is a brick. And every day, you are either building the life you want or surrendering to the one you fear. The power has always been yours. It's time to stop sleeping on it. Train like your future depends on it.